Hi, welcome to the Witches and Roses. I'm Netinyani, the Art Witch, and today we're talking about how to attract more love into our lives, and we'll also be doing a magical art therapy exercise together to help you prepare for receiving this love. If you were hoping for a quick visualization trick to manifest your SP, this is not what this video is about. Today we're going much deeper and we will be planting seeds for solid, sustainable results. First of all, it is important to remember that there are many ways of expressing love and embodying it. So before even thinking, what do I want to attract? It makes much more sense to ask ourselves, what do I want to embody at this time? Therefore, the first step to manifesting love is introspection. What is my soul calling me to embody, to evolve into? Because remember, love is the energy of evolution. There are two initial forces in the universe represented by the infinity sign, love and destruction, or in scientific terms, matter and antimatter. And love wants us to expand and to grow. We have multiple archetypal energies in our collective consciousness related to love. Today I will be talking about female archetypes, female goddesses. However, it is important to remember that archetypes are actually genderless. So even though I know that the majority of people watching my channel are women, but just in case, if you are a man watching this video, just apply everything accordingly to your situations, because absolutely everyone consists of both female and male energies. It's just the way we express them may differ. So if we think of the archetype of Aphrodite, she's representing a very romantic, sensual, playful kind of love, but not necessarily monogamous, and that's why sometimes people are scared of this energy. In mythology, we can observe that despite being married to Hephaestus, the god of fire and craftsmanship, she was passionately drawn to Ares, the god of war. Their relationship symbolized intense and sometimes chaotic union of passion and aggression, love and destruction. Then there is another archetypal energy such as Hestia. Hestia is very home-oriented, family-oriented kind of lover. She's very different from Aphrodite. And what is interesting that sometimes in our psyche, one archetypal energy can pose a threat to another one that is very different from it. And in the worst case scenario, some archetypal energies are completely blocked and inaccessible for us to connect with because some archetype is blocking them and is scared of them. Therefore, as you can imagine, we can experience an internal conflict, or sometimes, in the worst cases, it can even lead to depression. Now, I'll give you an example. If a woman has a very controlling internal Hestia, it might be rather difficult for her to have a lot of romantic encounters, a lot of fun, and in general attract a lot of male attention, because Hestia, it's a very introverted energy. Now, it is important to mention that if you do identify with Hestia and you really like this archetype, you feel like you are in your element when you are connecting with it, there's nothing wrong with it as long as you are happy and as long as you are 100% authentic with yourself. The problem arises when the person actually wants to activate certain Aphrodite qualities in themselves, but they can't because they've become a hostage of Hestia. This happens because this internal Hestia might simply misinterpret Aphrodite and think that, okay, if I was to connect with this archetype, then I will definitely become polyamorous, or I will get carried away by my passions and sensuality and things like that, which can happen really, but it happens when you've been blocking this energy for too long. So the sooner we discover our imbalances and the sooner we target them and pay attention to them, the easier it will be for us to express them in a beautiful way. Another quite interesting female archetypal energy is Lilith. Lilith is a symbol of sexual empowerment, liberation, freedom, and even rebellion, I would say. If we were to compare Aphrodite and Lilith, even though Aphrodite is definitely a symbol of female empowerment, still, in comparison to Lilith, she's much more docile, she's much more interested in relationships in general, while Lilith is interested in her expression, in her self-expression and her personal freedom. Therefore, she's using her sexuality in a completely different way. Now, when I say sexuality, this is not literally about having sex. I mean, it can be, but it's much, much more than that. When we speak of Lilith, we are talking about ultimate sexuality. There are a lot of people that are sexually, physically, are very active, but their sexuality is not really evolved. They're not really in their power. So the ultimate sense of sexuality is how do you express yourself in the world in general? To what extent can you be independent? To what extent can you be brave, audacious, even provocative sometimes if need be? Or to what extent can you even protect your boundaries? As an example, if your Lilith is activated in a balanced way, and if a man crosses your boundary or disrespects you, you will make sure to let him know straight away that it's not okay. It's not allowed here. And you won't give a flying fuck if he gets mad, sad, disappointed, or if he disappears, if he runs away. Again, if we were to compare Lilith with Aphrodite, Aphrodite in her shadow aspect can be a little bit clingy and she's seeking for this external validation. So sometimes she can get us into relationships that are rather toxic, where we are in the position of a victim constantly looking for this external validation. But again, all archetypes have their shadow aspects and it's always a matter of balance. For example, Lilith in her shadow aspect, in her extreme expression, is quite dangerous as well. She's representing uncontrolled rage and uncontrolled sexuality. That is why to attract the right partner, the right kind of relationship, we have to be very honest with ourselves. We have to understand what is going on in our soul, what archetypal energies are calling us and why, and what do we want to experience with people, so that when they are not capable of giving us that, we are okay and we are aware of that. Maybe this is actually not what I want to receive. That is why it is so important to understand what is happening within yourself, what archetypal energy is calling you at this time and why. And based on that, you can be much more self-conscious when it comes to manifesting certain relationships. Some of you might think that you want to get married and you need to write a spell to manifest a husband. But are you really in your marriage era? That's the question. Do you want to get married, or is it a societal pressure? Do your parents want you to get married? Do your friends say that it's really time to get married? Maybe if you are 100% honest with yourself, you actually want to reconnect with your Aphrodite and let your Lilith out and start going on multiple dates. Or, on the contrary, maybe you've been stuck in the Lilith energy for too long and your relationships do not progress beyond very short-term lived passionate encounters. And this is no longer a question of you fighting for your independence and freedom. It's just a trauma response. It's just your fear of intimacy because you've never maybe experienced a secure attachment or safe attention and just sincere love and care. Or maybe you are ready to experience motherhood and to experience maternal love and connect with such archetypes as Demeter, for example. But you are just scared of everything that comes with this motherhood. And the list of scenarios goes on and on and on as to why are we choosing to connect with certain archetypal energies right now and why are we repressing others. Today I thought it was a good idea to connect with the archetype of Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty, sensuality, romance, but also art, creativity, self-expression, and healing. And today we are connecting with her healing aspect specifically. Because whatever you want to manifest, I'm convinced that absolutely everyone will benefit from this exercise, regardless of what is your current era. This exercise will give us a very honest picture of the state of our heart today. And like this, you can be much more self-conscious and decide what energy do you want to shift into. And most importantly, why? What is standing behind your choices and drives? Are they authentic, or is it just a response to your unhealed pain? By the way, if you are intrigued by the subject of archetypes and you would like to go deeper and really understand what archetypal energy is currently calling you and why, I am also available for a personal tarot reading where we will be able to analyze what's going on and spot any imbalances and try to understand what energy is very beneficial to connect with today so that you can really raise your frequency and manifest everything you want really in your life. I will leave all the information in the description box. So Aphrodite, a lot of people know that she's a symbol of beauty, but the majority of people do not understand the scale of this beauty. People tend to think that she's a symbol of the industry of beauty, but it's not the case. She's a symbol of the ultimate beauty, and ultimate beauty is truth. That is why in tarot cards, the Justice card is represented by Venus. So today we're going to get real honest with ourselves. So before lighting a candle and writing that spell to manifest a new lover into our lives, let's dive into our heart and see how things are and what are we capable of embodying right now. Because remember, as within, so without. And just a very quick side note. I am a firm believer that, yes, you can literally manifest anyone, your SP, any other new person by simply constantly visualizing and working on your frequency and sort of tricking the universe. However, once you've manifested this person into your life, there is no guarantee that you will be able to ground this love for a long term. Why? Well, because if any external trigger, any challenge comes your way, and you haven't done the internal healing, the internal work, you haven't worked through your fears, through your insecurities, the relationship will just get messed up in 5 seconds. So yes, you can literally manifest whoever you want to. However, the quality of the connection will vary dramatically depending on how much self-discovery you have done. So before we start our magical art exercise, I would like to quote Rumi, a mystical Persian poet, because this is exactly what we're going to do now to manifest love.
Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. The magical practice begins with an open notebook or even with a simple piece of paper. This is the invitation to explore the depth of your heart. Gather your materials, colored pencils, acrylics, watercolors, markers, any medium that calls to you. You might also need some embellishments, such as glitter, gold paint, or rhinestones. A drawing compass may assist, but it is not necessary. Before you begin, recognize this is a spiritual practice, an inward journey unbound by the constraints of correctness. Here, the focus is not on perfection, but on the act of creating a dialogue with your soul. Step 1. Setting the intention. Write these words before you. I release all wounds of love. I allow my heart to speak its truth. This is your invocation, a sacred contact between you and your inner world. Step 2. The circle of expression. Draw a circle, your sacred space of exploration. This is where you will channel all that stirs within you regarding romantic love as you connect with the archetype of Aphrodite. Breathe deeply, letting your awareness sink from your mind into your body. If clarity does not come immediately, be patient. Creativity flows in waves. At first, the familiar symbols may emerge: hearts, flowers, lips. Honor them, but continue. The subconscious will begin to reveal what lies beneath: sharp edges of unspoken pain, burdens cold and heavy, traces of grief and disappointment. Fragments of memories may rise chaotically, demanding space. Give them form. Perhaps your hand will scroll a wild, frustrated mark, a gesture of untamed emotion. Do not resist. Let the gates open. Maybe suddenly you will stumble upon rage. Perhaps you want to scroll words unfiltered, raw, unkind. Do so, no one will see but you. This practice is a sanctuary, a space where anger transforms into release, where emotions unfurl without judgment. This is how we free ourselves ethically, without harm, yet with honesty. Step 3. The alchemy of healing. Once you have poured the storm onto the page, begin to shift it. Observe what you have created. Acknowledge it. Name the emotions: anger, grief, betrayal, disillusionment. Now, with compassion, soften what is harsh. Use shading, blending, the neurographic technique of rounding, sharp edges, whatever feels right. Do not erase pain, but meet it with love. If harsh words have surfaced, respond to them as a loving witness. For example, your deception hurt me, but it does not define me. This is my truth now, but I am not bounded to it forever. I love myself enough to heal. Continue layering beauty upon the wounds, perhaps with color, symbols of renewal, or embellishment of glitter that transform darkness into radiance. The pain may still be there, but no longer owns you. It now bows to the light of your magic. Step 4. Deep reflection. Now address the emotions you have identified. Ask yourself, why am I angry? What is my anger trying to reveal? Who or what do I feel betrayed by? Did I ignore warning signs? Why? If you have identified pieces of pain, then ask yourself, where do I physically feel this pain? If it had a voice, what would it say? And what would soothe it? Step 5. The ritual of release. To liberate yourself from these burdens, write down the negative beliefs that you have discovered during this practice on strips of paper. Cleanse the bowl, then fill it with water, a symbol of purification. Gather objects infused with meaning, a rose quartz, any essential oil that you associate with emotional healing. With your fingertips, stir, infusing the water with intention. Like the tides, I release the painful past. What no longer serves me is washed away. Say it as many times as it feels right, until it feels like you really mean it. Add a few drops of oil, allowing its essence to amplify the water's healing properties. I am also adding rose petals to amplify the effect. One by one, tear the strips of paper, surrendering them to the water. Let the ink bleed, let the past dissolve. Take a crystal or shell, press it gently to your palm, and whisper, I release this, I am free. Repeat as many times as needed until the truth of it settles in your body. Sit with this moment, feel the weight lift. You are not powerless. You are the weaver of your own fate. With the heart space now cleared, it is time to mold your desired state of heart. Through symbols, sacred geometry, and intuitive imagery, call forth love in its highest vibration. This is the essence of my spiritual art mentorship, guiding people through art as a portal for deep self-discovery and manifestation. If this path speaks to you, details on how to embark upon this journey with me can be found in the description box. For now, I leave you with this. I hope it was both informative and inspiring. Thank you for sharing this space with me today, and see you soon. Bye-bye.